The heroine of this case, Deborah Wardley, now Deborah Laurie, was recently awarded the Order of Australia for her services to aviation. 40 years ago, though, Ansett Airlines openly refused to employ her as a pilot because she was a woman. She was already a qualified pilot, and Ansett's excuses were ridiculous, including the potential for her earrings to cause a hazard in the cockpit and the perception that she would be unreliable during her menstrual period. Yes, I'm serious. Wardley took Ansett to the Equal Opportunity Board and won an order that Ansett must employ her. Ansett appealed to the Supreme Court and then to the High Court. In the High Court, they argued that their pilots were employed under an agreement which was registered under the Conciliation and Arbitration Act 1904, a Commonwealth statute. That agreement gave Ansett the right to terminate an employee's employment within the first 6 months without reason. Ansett argued that this meant they could dismiss Deborah Laurie for being a woman, even though that would breach the Victorian Equal Opportunity Act. They said that because the industrial agreement was under Commonwealth legislation, it should prevail over any inconsistent state legislation. Section 109 of the Constitution says, "When a law of a state is inconsistent with a law of the Commonwealth, the latter shall prevail, and the former shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be invalid." A majority of judges in the High Court found that the industrial agreement was intended to be subject to the general law, and was not intended to give carte blanche to employers to ignore state laws. Justice Stevens said, "The agreement is not, I think, to be read as if creating a partial vacuum within which the relationship between Ansett and its pilots lies wholly withdrawn from the operation of the general laws of the land. The present industrial agreement is concerned with industrial matters, and its terms should be construed accordingly. They should not be regarded as trespassing upon alien areas remote from its purpose and subject matter, whether those areas concern the nation's foreign affairs or social evils, such as discrimination upon the ground of sex." As a result, Ansett was required to maintain Wardley's employment, and she had a long and successful aviation career for airlines in Australia and overseas, resulting in her recent Queen's Birthday honour.